Okay, so good afternoon. Welcome to another chapter and our review of business statistics in preparation for the departmental exam. Today we're going to cover the chapter related to confidence interval. Okay, so in this particular case, the purpose of the confidence interval can be illustrated in this particular framework here. So for example, this is our population. So, and then the population standard deviation is given. And then from this population, we're going to get the sample. And then the n here represents the sample size. And then from this sample here, we can compute for our sample mean. And then given a certain level of confidence, our alpha here, we are trying to compute, we're trying to estimate the mean of this population, of the entire population. This is one of the applications of the inferential statistics, and we're using this sample mean here. We call this one as the point estimate. So using this point estimate here, we're going to predict the mean of the entire population. So in this case, if this is the given, we can use the formula the mu is equal to x bar plus z, the sigma divided by the square root of n. Okay, and then in some particular cases where the population sample size is given, we cannot use this formula, and then we have to affix the finite correction factor here. So it will become something like this. So this is very similar, but we have to add the finite correction factor here. Okay, and then in most of the problems in real life, the population standard deviation is not given. That is why from this sample here, we compute the sample mean, and then we also compute the sample standard deviation. Okay. So in our previous chapters, in chapters 2, 3, in the prelim coverage, we discussed how to get the mean and then the sample standard deviation using a formula. But in this particular case, we're going to use, you're allowed to use your calculator, and then we have to maximize the use of our scientific calculator. Okay, so in this case, we're going to use this formula here. We're going to use the t distribution, and then S is the sample standard deviation. Very similar to our previous formula, except that we change the Z to T and then the population standard deviation to S, sample standard deviation. Okay, so if the problem is talking about the proportion, so and then we take a certain sample, so we can compute for the p hat. The p hat is the sample proportion. Okay, the formula for the p hat is just equal to the x here, the x divided by the n, and then the formula for our q hat here is just 1 minus p. If this kind of formula is given, and then of course the level of confidence is alpha, we will use this formula here. Okay, so in the next section, in the next video, we're going to solve some example problems here from the book of Ken Block. So see you, and good luck, and God bless.